Good morning, afternoon, evening to all of you. Thank you so much for joining our webinar to introduce you to our new gold standard learning platform. Great, let's get started. So a couple of house rules. We are recording this session and I'll be sharing both slides and recording with you later. And if you have any questions, you can use the Q&A box, and there is also a chat that you can use if you prefer. So feel free to use that. And who is today with us? So it's Marta Georgin, Head of Unit Oversight. You know Marta very well. And me, myself, Anna Coglitore. I am the Senior Officer, Training and Competence in the Oversight team with Marta, working with Marta. So I would like to kick off the session with a few questions. The usual question, where are you joining from? Which country? I always like to see a lot of countries on the screen, so please let me know. And I can actually launch the poll on the screen right now. If you don't want to scan it, give me 1 second. Loading. Yeah, this one. Give me a sign, Marta, if you see it on the screen. Yeah, perfect. Great. So one question is the usual, where are you joining us from? And the second question is more related to the platform. So what features would you like to see in the platform? So let's go to the first one. So I see a couple of countries popping up on the screen. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for now. What else? 6, 7. If I'm counting right, counting is not my strongest suit. Nice. We have a majority in India. We have Germany, Thailand, Turkey, France, Indonesia, Spain, Hungary, the Netherlands. Okay, nice. Nepal. Great, keep it coming. And I'm very curious to hear what features you would like to see. So I'm going to go click here on all responses. Okay, so how it works, sure, we are going to do that exactly today. So alignment with the Paris Agreement and qualification exam. Surprise me, nice, yes, we'll try. The use of the platforms, interactive tools and case studies, something else about Paris Agreement that is easy to use. I think it's quite easy to use. It's pretty straightforward. So we'll be walking you through that. New requirements, and I see AI chatbot. This one is an interesting feature that, yeah, we can look at using in the future. We will not have it for now, but it is something that is part of the platform and could be something we could use. Be user-friendly. Yeah, we love that. We also hope for that. So, yeah. Great. So you can let us know also at the end of the session if it's user friendly and easy to use. So let's see. Let's move on. So why are we here today? I think it's important to mention why we are on a session, and because you're taking your time to be here, and we really appreciate that. So we're here today basically to introduce you to the platform, as I said, but also to understand how it can support you as auditors, but also VVB managers. So this platform is really there to do this in terms of all training that are related to gold standard, exams, etc. And of course, to become familiar with the platform before we go live, because we don't want to just push the platform on you and say, there you go, use it. We really want to take the time to make sure that you understand how the platform works and what it looks like. On the agenda for today, we will have Marta giving us an introduction of why we're doing this, why we have a learning platform, but also talking about what the platform can do, what type of trainings will be there. And of course, we'll give information about the launch timelines and our training roadmap, so what we are foreseeing for the platform, and also access information. And then I'll be walking you through some key features of the platform with some comparison of processes, so what we can improve with the platform between the current process and then future process. and also a couple of account admin information for VVB managers mostly. And then we'll go in the platform demo. We'll look at the platform, how it works, what it looks like, what it can do. And then we will open the floor for questions. And at the end, we can, of course, there will be a couple of next steps summarized with some call to action, and if you need any help, where you can find it. Okay, I would say, Marta, kick us off.
Thank you, Anna, for the introduction and the warm-up, and a warm welcome to everyone from me as well. I'm so happy to see so many of you here. It is so different from how it was a few years ago. And we've heard you. We've heard a lot of your feedback over the years. We've heard that not every training was interactive enough. We heard that not every training was on time, just when you needed it. We've heard that some of you didn't find any interesting topics in the trainings. So, for example, if you're a forestry expert and we were only talking about cook stoves updates, then you came to a training and it was boring. So we've heard all these things and we have tried to respond. You've seen a lot more interaction, what you've asked for as well. We've since Anna and Giovanna joined us last year, you have been engaging a lot more with us on almost monthly basis with both calibrations and update trainings. So I'm very excited to launch this platform. And you know that the new assurance model is one of our biggest projects for this year as gold standard. We have transitioned from a certification system where we had a certification body and many validation verification bodies to certification decision being taken by the VVB. And this puts the VVB in the center of the assurance model. And we need to make sure that we have very competent VVBs that are very confident in the work that you do and very motivated to do the work under this standard out of all of the other standards that you're working with. So we want to provide more and better training for auditors and VVB managers. We also know that the carbon market is growing and hopefully will grow even more. It's getting more and more complex, and we need more auditors. Maybe not more VVBs. I'm happy to have just you, but maybe there will be new joiners. But definitely, we will need to have many new auditors that will have to be maybe experts in many different technical areas, and we want to be able to provide more and better training to all, so that you can be competent and confident in the standard. So for that, we're launching this platform where we want to manage trainings, exams, and auditor competence. So until now, we were focusing on VVB approvals. Now we want to focus much more on like who the individual auditors are and what can they do so that we can tailor training specifically to individuals. And we want to allow auditors to take or retake trainings when the trainings are most needed. So imagine you've never done an audit about mangroves and suddenly you have a mangrove project and it's 2 years after the training we gave on mangroves. Well, tough luck. Like what would you do if you missed that training session or you hadn't been hired yet? Well, now we want to have this platform where all the trainings are accessible and where we provide little quizzes that can show you whether you've gotten the material of the training or not. You can show that to your manager, and your manager can see which trainings you've taken, which exams you've taken, and you can have shareable certificates as well. And that really helps quality managers to set up and team leaders of audit teams to set up their teams, but it also helps auditors find the right information at the right time. Anna? Next slide, please. Thank you. So there are three main areas that we're focusing on in this central hub for learning and competence oversight. That is the gold standard learning platform. The first is auditor approval. So you know that the main aspect of auditor approval is the auditor exams. And until now, since the transition from Sustain Cert to Gold Standard, the audit exams were a bit difficult to administer. So we have this platform now for easier access to these auditor exams and quicker processing times. You also have exam certificates automatically, and you get reminders when you need to retake the exam. And then we'll have auditor trainings. You will have the history of webinars and trainings attended. So you can do recap of topics as you're planning your audit. You can pass quizzes, you can have live webinars through the platform. And what we're hoping to do is to create learning pathways where trainings are organized per topic or per technical area. For example, all the land use and forestry trainings, or all the agriculture trainings, or all the community services trainings together. Then we'll have auditor competences. You know, the auditor competence and technical knowledge template that we have been torturing your managers to send us all the time. Maybe auditors don't know it, but maybe you've been contacted to ask information. So this information is now set up on the system so that each auditor has their technical areas, their team roles for which they're approved, experience in years in different standards, what are their social audits or gender experts, and which countries they have expertise in and which languages they use. And all that information is very useful for us because hopefully we'll be able to share it with the reviewers so that they don't need to ask any further questions on audit team composition. And we can also tailor more trainings towards specific people and send you specific invites for trainings that you might be interested in. All right. So the way we imagine this is that we have different training content. So imagine these learning paths. Someone who is a quality manager and doesn't do audits at a VVB might not need the same trainings as someone that does audits. So for VVB managers, we would like to have trainings more on VVB requirements updates or the process of Paris Agreement alignment. When do you have to do an audit with a project? How do you set up an audit team, etc., etc. For auditors that are approved and work with gold standard, it's very important to have standard updates and new methodologies, also including the Paris Agreement alignment, but then more in detail on, okay, how do you validate additionality? How do you validate lock-in? And so on. And then we have calibration sessions that we're very happy to continue, and auditor exams, of course. And then for new auditors, we will have, of course, the auditor exams as well. And we would like to set up a fundamentals of gold standard for the global goals course, which can also be used for trainees or country experts or anyone that the VVBs work with that is not necessarily an auditor or doesn't want to become an auditor, but is involved in the audit process in general. So this is some examples of what we want to do on the platform. But of course, we cannot do everything at the same time, and it's not all ready. So Anna, can we show the next slide, please? So to set up the exams on the platform and to introduce all the data without asking you to set up all the data on the platform yourselves, what we've done is to freeze the exams and not approve new auditors since October 20th. We have the webinar today, and we are testing from today, the next few days, with a few auditors from a few VVBs that were kind enough to agree to do external user acceptance tests with us to make sure that the platform does what we hope that it does and everything is smooth. And depending on the results of this test, we will go live in the next couple of weeks, either with everyone together or in a few waves. But basically in November, you should get access to the platform already. And in December, we hope to start uploading the content of the Paris Agreement alignment training and exams. And then to start adding more trainings as time goes. Until now, we've been very busy setting up the platform itself. And from now on, we hope to focus more on the content. One thing that I want to stress is that the reason why we're launching the platform right now is because, as we said last week during the quarterly training. If you haven't seen it, I very much recommend it. It was a good introduction, I think, to the Paris Agreement alignment requirements. There were two webinars last week, one on a higher level and one for VVB specifically. And one of the important things that you need to know is that for Paris Agreement alignment, all of the projects need to transition or align to the new methodologies that Gold Standard is launching based on the new requirements for additionality, baselines, and leakage. And in order for projects to align, there need to be alignment audits, and these alignment audits need to be conducted by a team that includes at least one person that has taken the trainings and exams on Paris Agreement alignment. And in order for us to track which auditors have taken the trainings and exams, we're setting up this platform. And the first use case will be normal auditor exams to continue with that. But the second use case will be the Paris Agreement alignment training and exams that we will start uploading in December. So this is why it's very important that you set up your accounts and that everything works before we collectively as a community go through the whole Paris Agreement alignment process together in the next year or so. Next, please, Anna. So the training roadmap, again, in the beginning, it will be the auditor exams. Paris Agreement alignment will come next, and from 2026 onwards, we will start introducing new trainings. We'll try to set up the recordings of past sessions, and any future online VVB training sessions will also be on the platform. Next, please. So we will create a Gold Standard Learning Platform account for you. The way that we do that is that each VVB sent us an auditor competence and technical knowledge template. And these templates contain an email address that the VVB uses to communicate with you as an auditor. And it contains your competence data. So which technical areas and which expertise you have. If you work with more than one VVB, which happens with quite a few of you, and that is normal, we have chosen the more generic email or a more recent one. And your profile contains your competencies and the latest Gold Standard exams information. If you have any issues with using the email that we have selected and you want to change it, please write to us. You will have received an email already from us about this, probably with this the invitation for this webinar as well. So if you want to change the email that you're using for the platform, please let us know. But know that you're going to have one email for the platform. So even if you work for 4 different VVBs, you will only have one account because you're one person with one set of competencies and you don't need to take the exam 4 times if you work for 4 VVBs. Right. If you have any questions, let us know.
Yeah, I don't see any questions coming in for now, so let me look at the Q&A box.
Pass the word to Anna for the more exciting part, which is the key features and a little demo.
Thank you, Marta. Thank you so much for this great introduction. Okay, yeah, so let's talk about the key features. This is it's quite interesting, I think, because we will have in the platform a feature that we were really hoping to find in a learning platform when we were looking. So basically, we want to make sure that each VVB manager has access to the auditor information about training. So if the auditor is taking an exam or following trainings, we want to make sure that the VVB manager that has access to the learning platform and is responsible for the competencies and training development of the auditors, that they have access to this information. So we have 2 roles in the platform. One role is for the auditors to be a learner, where you get access to the platform, you get access to exams, to the trainings, e-courses, and everything. And you are added into a VVB team. So we call this VVB team. This is how the platform is structured. And this means that each team has a team leader or a team admin who has capabilities to see a little bit top down on what all the auditors in that group are doing. And so this means that the VVB manager will have a double role. We'll have the role of learner, because of course there will be some trainings that can be applicable, but sometimes the VVB manager is also an auditor. So the VVB manager will have access to all the content as well, the training content. And at the same time, there will be the addition of the team admin role, which will be the whole competence management part, basically monitor the auditor exams, the training programs of the auditors, but also propose staff as GS auditors, and update the competencies. So keep gold standard up to date with auditor competencies and information, especially during certification reviews, where also gold standard needs that type of visibility, because as you know, with our assurance platform, we have our assurance review and review management team who needs access to this information about auditors. So what they do, they will check competencies about if this fits for the projects, does the auditor have a valid exam, and things like that. Next, this is more like from the side of the auditor to show you what we mean when will have one profile, even if you work with multiple VVBs. Basically, one person will be, of course, will have one account, and because of thanks to this team's sort of setup, if you work for different VVBs, then each VVB will have access, will have visibility to your information, to your technical areas, to your exams, to your trainings, etc., as well as the GS, the gold standard admin. So this could be us in the oversight team when we are reviewing VVB applications, but it could be also the assurance review management team when reviewing project reviews. And here on this side, basically, it means that if you don't work for a specific VVB, that VVB will not have access to your information. So you can rest assured of that. Next, I wanted to talk briefly about the auditor exams. This is something that we've been busy this year, mostly when we took it over from Sustained Cert in December last year. And I wanted to walk you through a little bit of the current process to see the difference and what is going to happen with the new platform. So in the current process, we ask the VVB manager or the auditor to send us an email with a request to take an exam. We receive the request via email at Gold Standard, and we process the request manually. So we send you a link with a passcode that you can access anytime you want. Then you take the exam, and the results are sent via email to you. So the results are only sent to you, and you can maybe forward the email to your manager. This process is quite a manual process, both for Gold Standard and for you, for a VVB manager, but also for the auditor. And it has also it brings some waiting times because, of course, it's a back and forth of email. In the future process, we are going to streamline this. And basically, you will have access directly to the learning platform. If you're already an approved auditor, for example, you need to renew your exam because it's expiring, or because your VVB entity is going through a reapplication, so the exams need to be refreshed. You have access to the platform. So what you do in your own time, you just go in the platform and you can take the exam. The results will be available on your learner profile as well as a certificate. So far, we have never had a certificate that actually said you have completed this exam, but you will be able now to download that on the platform itself. And both the VVB managers and Gold Standard will have visibility on the exam score, on the exam progress. So this is something that also was missing before because the VVB managers didn't have the direct access on that. But thanks to the VVB team setup, this will be possible. So what we have here is a faster turnaround, so less waiting time, less manual work, and the data is available for the people who need to see it. Talking about online sessions as well, we have as well here quite an improvement, because right now what we're doing when we organize a training or a webinar at Gold Standard, in the oversight team, we send an email to your manager. Sorry, there is a typo there, to VVB managers. Apologies. Then the VVB manager will share the invites with the team, and you will receive an invite and you can sign up, self-sign up and join the session. The problem here is that emails sometimes get missed, or the person is out of office. And also we cannot really track attendance like in this way. And also the competencies acquired during a training or a webinar are also not tracked. With the assurance, with the learning platform, we will be able basically to send you an invite to the online session directly through the learning platform. So basically, we'll enroll a user in a training, and you will receive an email with an invite to register to a session. Then you will receive a Teams invite that can go on your agenda, on your calendar, and it's there for you to remember to attend. And in this way, we can also track the attendance. So we will have visibility on attendance, but also thanks to little quizzes and knowledge checks on the platform, we'll be able to also you will be able to also check your understanding of the topics. And of course, for each course, there will be a participation certificate available that you can share. So in this way, basically, we are streamlining the process of sending out invites to make sure that they reach all of you. Joining sessions will be quick and easy, and there is a better way of also identifying knowledge gaps. In the same way, talking about recordings, right now, what we do after session like this one today, I will be sending an email to all of you, to the people who have registered, because that's the email addresses and the contact that I have of the people who were interested in the webinar or in the training. And then we upload the recording to YouTube. And here, basically, we don't know if recordings reach all of you. So we are sharing the email with the recording, but we don't know if everybody is receiving it. Probably not. There will be people who will be missing. And we cannot track the attendance and the competencies, of course, as also for the online sessions. With the learning platform, we will create a course where we will upload the recording. And you will be able to access it from anywhere, anytime. You will be able to see your learning progress, to check your understanding with a quiz. And of course, there will be a certificate. So here you can learn at your own time, and knowledge gaps can be identified for yourself as well. You can do a sort of self-assessment to see if you have understood the topics or not. And it's also good for us to see where we can where we need to focus our trainings more. And that is also tracking of progress and competencies that right now is not happening because we don't have that sort of data to track. So this said, if you have any questions, please, is there something in the chat? Question in the chat about this?
I have answered the questions. The questions were based on the exam. What kind of exam questions we have? Is it questions on core concepts with scenario type exercises? Maybe you can tell us a little bit about the exam questions?
Yeah, so the exams questions for now, we have we will have two exams. One it will be energy and waste, and then the other one will be agriculture and LUF. And we will be looking in the future of also updating this process, but for now we will be running with this. The type of questions are related to the methodologies and requirements and core requirements that are in the gold standard for global gold standard. Let me see what is yeah, so it's a multiple choice exam. We have 25 questions. And we have, I think it's about 15 generic questions about GS4GG and 10 questions related to the specific scope. So if it's energy and waste, you will have questions about community services, renewable energy, methodologies like that. What else, Martha? Would you like to add anything?
No, I think that's great.
I see another question. Can one view the live session or take the exam later with recording? Yes, of course. So basically what will be uploaded there is recording, and if you attend the live session, um, you can complete that training course whenever you want. So there will not be an expiration date to say if the session was this week, in 2 weeks you need to have completed that training. So it's up to you to basically join a session or watch the recording. But if you want to have that session or that training marked as complete, then it's really important to follow the whole process on the platform, and then that sort of training progress will be tracked in your profile, but you will always be able to go back and do it again. So let's say that in a year or two you will do an audit on, for example, mangroves, going back to the example that Martha gave. You will be able to reopen that course and follow it again for just to brush up on the knowledge. Let me see when the platform will be available. Yeah, so the platform will be available in the coming 2 weeks. We will be doing probably a phased launch. So all of you will start receiving emails to get on the platform. And once you have access, the exams are there. So in a second, I'll go in the platform and I will show you that the exams are there, and you can already start taking them. Okay, exam apply only for. So the exams apply, basically everybody who has access to the platform can take the exam. So there is not really a blockage on, if you're not an auditor, you don't take the exam. I think everybody should be able to do that, and it's possible on the platform. And there is no fee. So we don't have a fee for taking exams. So if you take the exam now and in 6 months you're doing an audit and you would like to refresh your knowledge and do the exam again to check, that's totally fine. You can retake the exam anytime you want. So that's absolutely fine. Okay, Martha, if I missed some questions, please let me know. But maybe I'll move on now to a couple of information about account admin. As I said, this is maybe a little bit more for VVB managers, but it's also important for all the auditors to know. So let's talk about how to add an auditor, but also how to remove and how to update a profile. So to add a new auditor, we have talked already extensively about this auditor competence and technical knowledge file. And we also call it a staff matrix. And this is really important because we have information there that we are using to import data on the platform. So whenever there is a new auditor that you would like to add, please send us an email with fill out a new line on your file. You can just keep using the one you have and keep updating it. And send us an email with attaching the file, but also the CV of the new auditor and any copies of relevant certificates or evidence of completed training that you have to support the competencies that have been assigned to VVB. Then we will give access to this new auditor onto the gold standard learning platform. And there they can already start doing trainings and also taking exams. And once the auditor has been approved, we will add that person to the VVB page on the GS4GG website. And also we will add the person to the team, to the relevant team, VVB team on the learning platform. To update information about approved auditors, so auditors that are already on the platform. If there are any significant changes to the profile, or if a competence is missing or should be added, then please ask the VVB manager to send us again the updated auditor competence and technical knowledge file, so that we can update that information. And so it's really important that the VVB manager, like you guys, are really responsible for that information in there, because as we said at the start, this information is we use it as well. Our internal team, assurance review management team, uses it to review projects. So it's important that it's up to date. Yeah, so once we receive the request, then we will update records and in the learning platform. And briefly as well on removing an approved auditor. Let's say an auditor doesn't work anymore for a specific VVB, but maybe it will stay active, he or she will stay active on for other VVBs. So the VVB manager should send an email to us with the request to remove the auditor, of course with information about the person, and we will remove that person from the team. If applicable, also from any other gold standard digital application, for example, the assurance platform or the SDG impact tool. Yeah, so basically this is important to make sure for account security processes. Yeah, so all this information, we are going to update it on our website, on the GS4GG website. We are revamping the Become a VVB page. There will be more access information there. And also on the VVB training and support webinars page, there will be a link to the learning platform as well. So we are working to make some changes there. So stay tuned for that. And now I think we're a little bit over time, but I'm really excited to show you the platform now. So what I'm going to do, we're going to talk about access and login. Then I'll show you the dashboard, how to enroll in a course, how to do the exams, and how to sign up to an online session, and then how to check your progress and achievements. And before I go there, talking about access, you will receive an email from us in the next 2 weeks, as we said, where you are invited to join the application. And joining the application that you were invited to join is the learning platform. So the email will come from Microsoft. So invites@microsoft.com, and it will give you instructions on how you can access the platform, how you can activate your account and access the platform. So this setup is with a multi-factor authentication, and it's really important because this is for security reasons, to keep your account safe as well. It's important to have to go through this process, and you only have to do it once. So it's not something that needs to be done every time you log in, but only the first time, to make sure the account is activated and running well. And this said, I am going to share a different page now. So there we go. Let me see. Great, I'm going to share this. You can see my screen, I hope. Okay, so this will be basically the login page of the learning platform. And as we said, so basically this will be a platform only for VVBs and auditors for now. So when you are on the login page, after you have set up your account is active and everything, and you want to log in, then you click here, login with SSO, and then login with Gold Standard. This login interface will probably change very soon, so this might happen. Then you choose an account, and basically this is the dashboard that you will see as a learner. Whenever you look in, you basically end up on a home page, and on this home page you have here your name, and you have a bar where you can search for content, and you have here a dashboard for training. So here there is nothing for now because I haven't enrolled in any trainings yet, but this will be populated as soon as we enroll in courses or start a course. And here on the right side, you can see a news little widget as well, where we can communicate maybe some news. For now, it just says welcome to the learning platform. Here you can see a little calendar as well for live sessions that are scheduled, and some training metrics to see if you have any trainings that need to be completed, that are in progress or are overdue. For example, if your exam is about to expire, it will be showing under overdue, and it will also be showing here. So to make more sense of this, I will show you in a second. Let's go to the buttons here on top. So the home button is basically where we are now. The learning library is where we have and I can actually click and show you. So here we have an overview of what is available for you on the platform. So all the exams, any training that is available will be showing here on the learning library. Under assigned training here is basically the trainings that are assigned to you. For example, if I am sending an invite, if I'm creating a new quarterly training invite, and I create a course, I will probably assign it to you so you can see it on your dashboard and on your assigned training page, and you can join it. Then we have live sessions where you can, it's a sort of calendar where you can see what are any upcoming sessions that we have, and you can enroll and sign up. And then we have the achievements tab that is where you can also look at your certificates and etc. But I will go now back to the home. So both this button and the home work the same. And I want to show you how to enroll in a course. So let's say that we want to enroll in the VVB quarterly training course. I can go here, I can hover on it, I can click it, and I can, this is not a good example. Let me see this one. Let's go to this one. Yeah, so the course will show on the page like this with an introduction, and it will show you also a little score of your progress. And you can say, you can either start the course immediately or you can enroll. If you enroll, you can start it. It will bring you back to the homepage. Let's say I enroll now. It brings me back to the homepage and it will show here on my dashboard as not started. If I want to start it, I can also go here. I click it and then I can say start the course. And if I start the course, basically, this is just an invite to a webinar. Let's say this is a mock-up of what you would have seen. If we were already live with the platform, it is what you would have seen to register for this session of today. So you will have a little description and then you will have a link to register. Here, you can say, I want to register. So we have 2 sessions here. You can register for one of them. So one limitation is that you cannot register for both, but you sort of need to choose one. But you can always unregister and register immediately for the other one. So this is not a problem. Let's say that I want to register for this session now for the afternoon. I click it and it basically shows as registered, and it sent me already an email telling me you have been registered for the session. Let me see if I can show you that email actually. Yeah, so you will receive basically an email like this that says you have been invited, you've been registered for the session. So it's pretty straightforward and it communicates back to your email so that you don't have to manually add anything there. Once we're done with this, we click exit, and once the session is done, you will see here a recording and you will see maybe a little knowledge quiz, etc. So to show you that, I will give you an example of the quarterly training. So this is a training we did last week. And here now, if I go in the training, I can basically see the recording. There is a knowledge check, then share feedback and closure. So if I click now on this to start it, it will bring me to the first page. And here it will say recording, it will give me the content. So this is basically just the agenda of the meeting. And then there is a recording that you can play and view. Then when you're done with this, you can click on next module. And there will be a knowledge check. This is really just a mock-up, so it's not there is nothing here yet, but once we go live, there will be something here, don't worry. And so, yeah, you would click the answers. Now it's already done. I don't know why, but I was probably testing yesterday. So basically, it will give you a score and it will tell you, okay, now go to the next one. And the next module, it will ask you, I think, for share your feedback. You can do that. And then the closure. And once you're done, basically, maybe I can quickly go through this. Do I have time? I need to speed up a little bit. So basically, the usual question on feedback. Let's answer it quickly. Blah, blah, blah. Let's give everything 5. Okay, continue. And then we go to the closure. And here at the end, it tells you, congratulations, you have completed the course. You can download your certificates on the training course and in your achievements tab. And if you have any questions, reach out. And then it prompts you, if you want to exit, you can click on exit, and the exit button is right here on the right-hand side of the screen. And when we exit, basically, we can see here, and next to the modules here, there is a button, achievements. And if I go here, I can download a certificate. So it tells me the date that I took that I completed the course, and it tells me to download the certificate. So I can see if I can do that and show you what it looks like. So the certificate will look like something like this. And yeah, so that's a certificate of attendance. So yeah, this is for a course. Let me go to an exam to show you an exam process. Let's say that I want to take the energy and waste exam. I can go into the exam. There is here a description as well and a percentage of how far you are. And we can start the exam. There will be an introduction. So it tells you what are the objective of the exam. Then you can click start module, and there is a couple of information of why taking the exam, some information about also audit teams and VVB requirements. And then if you click on next, there is also, before you start the exam, there is a prompt to remind you to maybe download the study guide, which is a document where there is a list of key documents that are relevant to the exam. And you can do that. You can review the documentation, and when ready, you can come back. So basically, you can also say, okay, I'm going now to stop here. I'm going to review the documentation, and I'll be back later in a couple of days. That's absolutely fine. Basically, you can click on exit here. We can exit, and it will remember that you have gone through the introduction already. You saw this one is complete, and there is a 30% percentage of where you are in the progress. Please ignore this 0% my score. This is something we're fixing. I'm not sure exactly, but not something you should worry about. Let's say now it's been 3 days, you have reviewed the documentation and you're ready to take your exam. You could go back to the introduction. If you maybe want to read it again, you can click on it. It will ask you, you have already completed this. Do you want to start it again? You can say yes. It's fine. You can do whatever you want. You can access everything anytime you want. And then you can repeat this. You can go through this again. And if I click here on next module, then I can go to the exam. So clicking here, we have the exam. This is just a test, so it's not going to show me the exam, but basically it will show your email address, and it will show you will prompt to answer a question if you're taking the exam to become or remain a just approved auditor or to demonstrate competence to your manager. You can click one of the two, and then a little sign of declaration to confirm that you're taking the exam for yourself. And then you can start. When you're ready, you can start. And you will have here exam instructions. You are already familiar with this if you have already taken the exam this year. It's just a reminder of what the exam will look like. It will contain 25 multiple choice questions. It will last for an hour and a half. Make sure you have good internet connection, etc. It's really important to read this and to know before you start, because once you start, then the time will start ticking and that time will not stop. So you have to take the exam in one sitting. And it's important that once you click, you go through with it, because even if you exit the exam, the time will keep going, and then you will have less time for the exam, or it will be failed. So if we start it now, as I said, this is just a test. So let's say, are you a human? Yes. Are you a robot? I'm not a robot. The sky is blue. Well, hopefully most of the time we like that. Once I'm done with my exam, the real exam will have 25 questions, so you can go through it, and you can see there is a time here. There is ticking. Once you're finished, you can say finish, and then you confirm it again. And it will show here a score with how much the percentage of your exam, and also some feedback. So once you're done and you have passed your exam, you can click on next and you can move on. In case the exam is failed, basically you can click on exit and you can come back the next day. And you could do it again. So you can go through the same process again. For interest of time now, I will skip that. But basically, if I go next now, I will have a screen with completion. It will tell me information about the exam. It will be valid for a year, and you will receive a notification 3 months prior to expiration to remind you to take the exam again. And you can download the certificate. And if there's anything that needs to be updated in the information, then to refer to the auditor competence and technical knowledge file. Clicking on exit here, now you can see that the exam is being completed. It says 100% here. You also receive an email on your inbox with the score of your exam. And here under achievements, you can again see your certificates, and you can see as well your compliance dates. And this will show as well on your dashboard. So here, here under completed, you will see that you have completed this, and it will be compliant until a date that is next year from today. So I think I've showed you everything. If I go now to the dashboard, I think here, as you can see, we have signed up for one online session, and it's showing here as well. So that's a little reminder as well on your dashboard. And under achievements, here you can see as well all your certificates. So for example, for the one we just did now, for the auditor exam, here we can download the certificates from here as well. I think I am over time, and I'm very sorry about that. Are there any questions? Or Marta, have you been able to answer the questions?
Yes, I have been able to answer your questions in the chat, and everybody will have access to the chat, and we'll send the questions around. But just to confirm for everyone, there will be no fees for exams. You have 3 attempts. If you don't manage to take the exam in 3 attempts, let us know, and we'll figure out why you haven't been able to, and we'll help you with that. And there was a question about who should take the exam, the Paris Agreement alignment exam and the gold standard exam. And as per the VVB requirements, the team collectively, the audit team collectively shall have the competence on GS4 DG and for Paris Agreement alignment for in the future for those audits. So it could be the one and the same person. It could be different persons depending on how you want to structure each specific team. All right, I think these were the most important questions. There was some more chatting around that you could look in the chat. Thank you, Anna,
Okay.
for the great demo. So, Alexandra, about the validity of the exam, in the next version of the VVB requirements, we will likely change the validity of the exam to 1 year. The reason for that is that, as you see, the requirements are changing so often that we would prefer to have people recheck their knowledge so that their own managers and team leaders can be confident that they know the requirements well. This is the reason why we thought that a 1 year exam is more appropriate. Yes, okay. We will put that through a stakeholder consultation anyway, so you can let us know what you think. In general, we're working now, something that I would like to ask everyone, we're working now on an update to the VVB requirements to align with Paris Agreement and so on. So if you have any doubts about the VVB requirements, or you have any suggestions on how to make them clear or more useful, please let us know, ideally this week, help at Gold Standard or VVB at Gold Standard, and we will take all these comments into account. In any case, any new requirements will go through public consultation. You will have the chance to comment, but you can as well let us know right now, and we will directly take this into account for the new version. And that will be very helpful. So thank you so much. Anna, go ahead.
Thank you. Great questions indeed. I look forward to reading the chat, and maybe we can compile a Q&A so that we can send these questions over to everybody. Okay, let's wrap up. I have 2 more slides. So just one slide to wrap up and summarize what we have said. And it's also a sort of call to action. So between the 10th of 21st of November, we'll be sending an email to you through Microsoft. So what I've showed you on the screen, to accept that invitation email, you will receive it on your inbox. So please keep an eye on the inbox and also the spam folders. Sometimes you never know, it ends up there. And once you have received your email, you can activate your account. So please do that. And it's also important that you check your profile if the information is correct. For example, your VVB information, your competencies, technical information, and your exam data. And so this is all to make sure that we are all ready and set up on time for the trainings on the Paris Agreement alignment that will come up in December. So so yeah, it's really just let's make sure to activate the account before it's really needed for an online training or something like that. And if you have, of course, if you have questions or need support, if you're stuck with something, for example, you have not received the email for login, or you have other difficulties experiencing, you're experiencing other difficulty to access the platform, or something is incorrect on your profile, please feel free to reach out. We'll be happy to help. And before we go, please, if you could share your thoughts about this, how you feel about the platform. It will be great. I think it will take just one minute, and I'll be launching the poll on the screen as well. But feel free to scan the QR code that is there. Your answers are anonymous, of course. I know we are a minute over time, but sorry about that. I'll try to do better in the next one this afternoon. So yeah. I hope everybody has received the link. Yeah, and in the meanwhile, maybe Marta, we can wrap up. Thank you all for joining. It's been it's been our pleasure to introduce this platform to you today, and I look forward to all the trainings and everything that we can do together for with this platform. So Martha, would you like to add anything?
No, thank you, Anna, for the great demo, and thank you everyone for joining. Let us know your comments on the platform, your wishes for the platform, your wishes for training, and especially your wishes to those of you that read the VVB requirements to update, how to update them, how to make them more useful. We appreciate very much interacting with you more and more every day, and thank you so much for being such a dedicated and competent and amazing community of auditors. We're happy to work with you and hope to continue seeing you around for many, many years to come. Thank you.
Yes, I agree. Thank you all so much. You've been amazing today. Yeah, have a nice rest of your day. See you soon.